Great fanfic. Let's get into it. Varsity Blues is the name of this episode, which it's crazy that no one didn't want your life.
Right. Nobody says, I don't want your life. Nobody dresses in a whipped cream bikini. It's like they didn't even watch either this movie or Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah, it's wow. Unnecessary to put Not Another Teen Movie in the canon with Varsity Blues.
Chris Evans, man, in the whipped cream bikini.
Yeah, fun
That's
stuff.
how he nailed.
That's my Captain America. That's my Captain America.
He showed off America's ass, dude.
Yeah, show us the whipped cream cut. Show us the whipped cream uniform. Yeah. I want to see Avengers Endgame with only a whipped cream Captain America costume.
Actually, before we get to that, I'm going to put a bit of that. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about a recap of what's happened so far, just in case you're just tuning into Riverdale. Things have got batshit insane in the town of Riverdale, the town with Pep. So the short version is there is what they call a serial killer, the Black Hood. He's actually one of the least effective killers in the history of serial killers.
He's more like a serial dialer.
Yeah, he's more like a cereal guy. Like he likes waking up and having cereal.
Then we move into Archie texting Betty, you up at like noon. It was like fully daytime. Betty's coming back from seeing Nick get arrested, and Archie's like, hey, you up? What day is it? I'm a baby.
That's very Archie, though, right? Archie probably slept until noon and was totally like, well, we all woke up at this time.
I look forward to the scene where every night before Archie goes to bed, Fred Anders hits him in the head with a shovel to keep him dumb. And then he wakes back up to be like, oh, what?
He's so dumb. No. Okay, let's talk about this again for the approximately 19th time, maybe the 20th time,
maybe
the 21st time, maybe the 22nd time,
could be
possibly the 23rd time,
could be
or the
any one of
24th
those
time.
times.
Could be the 25th time or the 26th time. Or the 20. I'm trying to teach my children numbers by listening to this podcast.
Alex, once again, we are not your children.
Oh,
we are your
That's
peers.
I actually forgot what I was talking about.
I think you need to learn numbers.
Yeah,
Good.
I definitely. Yeah, we finally find out what happened to Smithers, who was the butler at Hiram's place. What, Pete?
I
don't know.
Sorry,
I'm sorry, you
awkward.
guys can't see this in the room, but over the course of every episode, Pete just creeps closer and closer to us.
I get excited about talking about something.
You spent a significant chunk of time early this episode ragging on Chick because he stands over people while they're sleeping. You're basically doing the same thing.
The tender brushing of your hand against Alex's face was intimate, but a little bit out of
I don't know
nowhere.
about all that.
It doesn't sound like you're excited because you're already starting at a place of negativity. So here's what I want you to do, Pete. I want you to picture yourself in just like a cool, dark place. Like maybe Sweetwater River, just floating there, just lazing there down the river.
It's a warm summer
You're talking
day.
about the river where Cheryl's brother was murdered? I don't want to float down that river.
No. Just picture it. Close your eyes. Picture you've been shot in the head. You're just floating down the river. You look up and you're like, oh, there's Miss Grundy and she's fucking Archie. And it's like 6:30 in the morning. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
That's early morning fucking. Like, cock-a-doodle-doo. It's time to have sex.
Yeah, that's one of the best things about roosters.
Welcome to Riverdale After Dark, a podcast about the CW show Riverdale that is taped in a bunker deep below town where deep, disturbing goings-on are goings-on. I'm Alex.
It's a sex bunker, a bunker where we go to lay together. That's what happens in bunkers. Why not sleep in a crime scene? That's what many characters about this show think. That's the shit we're into after dark. I'm Justin.
I am Pete, and dude, that part freaked me out too.
Yeah, well, we'll
like,
talk
what
about,
are you doing?
We'll talk about that
Absolute
in a second.
nonsense.
Yeah, that happened.
But more of them. We need to see more of them. I don't think we're going to see any of them next episode, which is a bummer.
Maybe.
But we got to
You
see
have
more.
no idea what's going to happen on this show. You have no fucking clue.
Yeah, it could be like 3 seconds of farm and then 50 minutes of them saying we were fucking in the other room.
Yeah.
Man, that other room sees a lot of action. That's all I'm going to say.
I love this show, but it's so insane. It's like I've never done crack, but it's kind of like TV on crack, where you can't believe what's happening all the time.
Yeah, we're 6 episodes into the season. So
That's insane. That's insane.
Everyone's just hanging out, chill, like, yeah, school's crazy. And then Archie's like, yeah, I got branded by the gargoyles, and I have a homeless boy living with me. Anyway, what are you guys up to?
Anyway, I have a kid now. What's up, guys?
Did you have a problem with the fact that Jughead was eating safari animal crackers, but they didn't have any crazy name? I was staring at them the entire scene, waiting for it to be like something ridiculous like Senior Mints, which were revealed earlier in the movie theater episode, or I think it was like Twazzlers or whatever the fake Twizzlers were. But this was just Safari.
Good eyes, Alvin.
Real bummer, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, they had a huge missed opportunity to have some fun animal crackers.
Yes. Well, what would you have named it? Some sort of fun animal cracker name.
Yeah. Like, let's see, Fanimal crackers?
Manimal crackers.
Yeah.
Cool, let's talk about this more.
All right.
We could just call them bad cookies, because that's what animal crackers are.
Hey, fuck you, man. The animal crackers are amazing.
No, they're not cookies, they're crackers.
No,
they're not
cookies.
crackers. Wait,
They took a mediocre cracker and were like, let's fool people with the shapes.
What are you talking about? No, they're much more cookies. They shouldn't be called crackers.
Yeah, they're delicious.
But they're not. They're like in between crackers and cookies.
They're not in between. They're a cookie.
Would you put cheese on them? Would you put cheese on them?
I don't eat those. I throw them in the trash.
Oh my god, that's a waste.
Oh yeah, animal crackers should be behind bars in zoos.
Oh my god,
Jesus!
Lock them up.
That's some
ridiculous.
serious ethnic cleansing for animal crackers going on here.
Oh man.
Welcome to Riverdale After Dark, a podcast that is slowly climbing up the stairs, fighting its way from floor to get to the top and face that boss before jumping out a window. I'm Alex.
Is there anything scarier than a farm? All those animals and corn? Why does the corn keep growing? I don't know. I'm Justin.
I'm Pete.
and you're listening to Riverdale After Dark. Let's get into the recap because there's a lot of things you need to know going into this episode. So we'll start with Cheryl and Tony. We've touched on this a little bit. They are living in Thistle House with the corpse of Cheryl's brother, Jason Blossom, who she is talking to, and also a evil haunted doll named Julian.
Who gets a fucking plate at the dinner table.
He's got to eat. Doll's got to eat.
He's got to eat meat
Why
pie.
is the doll like everywhere? What the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. Why is everyone fine? Why is Tony suddenly accepting all this stuff?
Yeah, they were making out in front of the doll like it wasn't there.
That's normal to make out in front of something that's not there. A doll.
The doll is seemingly haunted by the spirit of Julian, who's the brother that Cheryl ate at the womb. Can we please get back on track
Yes.
here?
I'm sorry for diverting into insanity. Let's get back to the in-womb meal cannibalism.
Cheryl and Tony also got a little bit of a kerfuffle last episode when her Uncle Bedford found out about the corpse and said, you know what? You're crazy. I'm going to sell your maple syrup business, and I'm going to tell everybody you're going to be committed to an insane asylum. Attack Cheryl, and Tony ended up striking him and killing him, leaving behind his spouse and Cricket, and of course their child, whose name is Cousin Fester. I believe.
So weird.
Which we found out, I believe, this episode.
This episode, I believe.
Yes, and that, to me, we'll get back to this later, points why I am okay with this storyline, because it strikes me as very Addams Family.
So what are you talking about?
I'm defending
What does that mean?
What is that?
It's like the Addams Family.
This is not an excuse. If I walked into your home
and there's Smokey, it's Cheryl and Tony.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This isn't we're still in the recap part.
I know. I'm so sorry.
I don't know why you're
responding.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. If I walked into
You wouldn't let me do this.
well, that's the difference between you and I. If I walked into our podcast studio and there was a severed hand over there, and I was like, "What's up with that?" And you were like, "It's like Addams Family." That wouldn't solve the issue. It wouldn't be like, "Oh, okay. Oh, it's like Addams Family. Oh, cool. That's cool." Then let's leave the severed hand here. Maybe we should talk to it and let it dance around on our bodies.
Is this about the severed hand that's in our podcast?
Yes, and I brought it up in the coolest way I possibly could.
So that's Cheryl and Tony. Lots of stuff going on with them. Let's move on. Pete, by the way, just died of a heart attack. Yeah. So we'll talk.
This is fine. This is like Adam's family. It's like Adam's family. He's fine. Put a light bulb in his mouth. He's Adam's
legitimately
family.
have never seen Pete turn this red before.
I know his face matches.
Are you
his
okay,
shirt.
Pete?
That was the funniest shit. He just said, "Oh, it's like Adam's family."
Yeah, I'm glad you're having a good time.
They switch.
It is. That's a pretty fucked up thing. I can't believe I said that.
Yeah,
You've said a lot of fucked up things about your kids.
I have. But children, don't listen to these podcasts.
Yeah, children would never hear this.
Yeah.
And years from now, when we're dead and gone, I hope this is the only record that the future generations have is listening back to thousands of hours of us saying this very nonsense.
Yeah. My dad, he used to recap Riverdale on a podcast.
If you want my dad's legacy, yes, he was a great man. He dove deep on every episode of Riverdale.
Yeah.
The deepest takes.
When I looked
he was on board with the Cheryl stuff.
Some people say he was never right after that.
Yeah.
She's pissed about Hiram's actions. Burble pushes her, says, this is all about control. You're doing a dance of death with him.
A dance of death? If my therapist told me I was doing a dance of death, I would walk out and leave.
Yeah. What I would say, if my therapist would say that, I would say, you mean Tango de la Muerte?
Oh my God. Dude, who
and then
are
the music
you?
would go.
Oh my God.
A flower.
You would
in
just,
my teeth.
you would just put a flower and rose in your teeth. Yeah.
Hand in the air. It would be amazing. It would be quite the moment.
Oh.
But
You've been waiting your whole life for someone to say that to you.
It's going to happen someday, I think.
Yeah. You carry a lot of flowers around, just in case.
They're very wilted, I got to be honest. She could have moved on. Get out of that world. Don't be your father. That's exactly what you're doing.
Oh, you're saying...
They are doing the tango.
Yeah.
De la Muerte.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then Abluita, why am I not pronouncing this? Abluita. Oh my God.
Abuela?
Yeah,
Stop. Let's stop. It's the godmother of Veronica, right? It's Veronica's godmother.
Veronica's grandmother. Oh my God. I was able to say it so well. Why?
That was hysterical.
Abluita. Sounds wrong.
You're saying it wrong. That's why it sounds wrong.
However, she was barred from using her Abuelita's recipe. I nailed that. Abuelita. Nope, I screwed it up. Grandma.
Wow.
Grandma.
How did you blow it the second time around?
I will be, this is going to sound like a joke. I screwed it up so badly on the last podcast. I have been practicing
I
since
listened
then.
to it. I wasn't on that podcast, but I went back and I listened to it because it's perfect. I'm going to clip that and play it at your funeral and my funeral. Or our double funeral, depending on how it goes down.
Well, we'll see what happens by the end of this episode of this podcast. Post a note that said, love you, Mom.
On the coffee machine. Yeah.
Very cute.
Very cute.
I was surprised at the donut choice that he made.
What do you mean? What did he have?
He had the fancy donut instead of like a plain glazed
cruller.
He had the one that's like a
spinny.
Yeah, it's like
rotini, like the rotini of donuts.
Yeah.
Oh, a bear claw?
No, motherfucker. I know what
I think
a
it was
bear
a
claw
cruller,
is.
right?
It looks like a scrunchie, but it's a
it's a cruller. I've said it several times. It's called the cruller.
I don't know.
Do not challenge Alex about donuts. This dude fucking knows donuts.
I already said cruller is the rotini of donuts.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know, that's the hottest take in donut culture. That is it's a blazing hot take.
I'll tell you what,
the donut culture, Twitter, donut Twitter's gonna light up over there.
I walked into Voodoo Donuts the other day. I shouted this, and they said,
you're the norm there, right? They were like, Alex.
Yeah, I walked in, shouted that, and they were like, free donuts for life.
Wow,
hot take, love it.
I mean, there are so many better donuts than that one.
Than Voodoo Donuts?
No, I love Voodoo Donuts.
Than a cruller.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'll have a cruller sometimes.
Yeah, you eat every donut in front of your face. Throw your favorite donut out there, Pete. Right
Apple fritter.
Oh my God! What are you, Amish?
Yeah.
You have a whole donut world to explore involving sugar.
Yeah. I was on your side because cruller is like, sure, if a cruller's there, I'll have it. But until you said apple fritter, and then you lost me completely.
Apple fritter? It's not even
You
a
are not
donut.
allowed to criticize a cruller if your favorite donut is an apple fritter.
Hey, man. I mean,
An apple fritter is like a calzone for a country bumpkin.
it depends on where you're getting the donut. It depends on.
Just real quick, I want to clarify for the podcast, the only metaphors we have for donuts are Italian food.
I love a good bow tie.
Nice.
Boston cream is great.
Sure.
What a classic donut. Man.
Krispy Kreme, though, for me is the top of the top.
Ooh, like a hot Krispy Kreme?
Oh.
Yeah. See that light go out? You're like, habada, habada, habada.
Yeah.
Tongue rolling out of your mouth.
I just like
Hard
it.
Stop it up.
Sidetracking me. Let's go.
Eyes going a wooga.
I just like a pine cone rolled in honey. That's me. Right above an apple fritter.
Are you a squirrel?
Maple. I like a maple glaze.
Maple glaze?
Maple glaze.
Maple glaze.
That's right.
Are you from Canada?
I'm bona fide upstate New York, motherfucker. You take that bullshit Rochester shit with an apple fritter, you can take that right out of here.
Dude, first off, fuck you for saying that, all right? There's a lot of great homemade donuts made in Rochester that are fantastic.
Great. I like, as we've already established, I like all donuts. Let's move on. We should also mention, in terms of the little bit of a scotch, we talked to Brian E. Patterson, one of the writers, in a previous podcast, and did confirm to us that they're going to have 22 episodes. So if my math is correct, that is another 16 episodes that are going to be coming.
By the way, did it bother anybody else?
17?
Haven't we had 5?
Oh, we've had 5. I was miscounting. Yeah, my mouth was wrong.
No, you bigged up your math pretty big to blow it. You're like, if my math is correct, it is not correct. It is 100% not correct.
Listen, man, I'm not a scientist like you. I don't understand things like basic addition.
Hastily Googling math. I just said math, so I better know what it is. If my math,
is that what math is? Oh, jeez.
You went to
edit out
Cornell,
that
man.
part of the
Come on.
podcast.
It's great. I'll know.
Whether he's suddenly gotten super speed like the Flash. What do you think about that? Oh, Pete died.
Sorry.
With him is Charles, Jughead and Betty's half-brother, who had disappeared for a very long period of time. Turns out he's working for the FBI. We already know that he has been bugging their house. We found that out back in Halloween. We also found out that he was in a relationship with Chick, something that we knew originally, but was confirmed when they told each other they loved each other in prison. Chick, by the way, is the guy who is pretending to be Charles who lived with them. Could you imagine if this was your first episode of Riverdale?
It feels like it is.
Explaining Chick. Go ahead, explain Chick.
Yeah, I'll explain it to you in one sentence. The true hero of Riverdale.
No, stop.
And he really does save things, I think, this episode, as we find out, along with Charles, the co-hero of Riverdale, as we'll talk about later.
So I don't know if it's lack of sleep or what, but you guys talking gave me a vision of what's going to happen, right?
Oh, my God.
So,
Okay. And
so
the
what's
ayahuasca that you're on.
So the Veronica Archie thing blows up. Betty, Jughead find out about it. They have a huge fight. Then it's like Betty and Archie meet somewhere. Archie's standing there looking dumb. Betty, crying, walks up to him, kicks him in the nuts. And then it goes fade to black. 5 years later, Archie's still on the ground. And then he gets up from what's like a nut coma, and they start the show from there.
You know, normally I would discount that, but the first episode after the time jump is actually called Chapter 80, Nut Coma.
So that's crazy.
Weird.
And honestly, that really resonates with me because I have an uncle who's been in a nut coma for over a decade. I'm hoping he comes out of it soon. All I hear are just some light groans.
Oh, man.
This Shoney storyline is so emotional. I really feel for these characters. Why won't it make sense? And then the rest of the story is like, yup, the family's dead from a wall walker who emerges occasionally to kill them. You're like, I just don't understand the emotional beats. You're like, oh, I get it. There was a mass poisoning over Zoom.
Welcome to Riverdale After Dark, a podcast about the CW's Riverdale that would like to invite you to play a little game. I'm Alex.
When you're wandering in the darkness and you're like, hey, what's going on, everybody? And everyone's like, fucking everything's going on. Mushrooms and fires and winds and praise and little tiny skulls and stuff. It's like, whoa, you sometimes need to just sit down and gnaw your arm off. I'm Justin.
I'm Pete, and my brain is broken, okay? This show is too much all at once in ways that I was not ready for, and no, I can't. We should all just walk away. It's too much, man.
It's very crazy on that. Like, I know we've probably said this multiple times in this podcast, but this is the craziest episode of Riverdale.
Why not? It's too much. You can't do that.
I feel like I'm having hot flashes.
I loved it.
First off, we're talking about our first reaction. I was so angry. I Googled how much a fucking Dell laptop was because I wanted to throw my computer out the fucking window. First, I had to sit there and watch the fucking Tabitha bullshit, and then you're going to kick me on the way out? Fuck you. That was bullshit, man. That's both nuts. Fucking 1 and 2. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm on the ground and you're still fucking being like, yeah. And guess what else is over? Fuck it.
Dude, you're getting a Dell.
Dude, that was so bullshit.
And Hermione, Hiram does not wear a shirt all episode long.
No, and that dude's fucking jacked.
Oh my God,
he
he
is
is a
crazy
monster.
jacked.
Jesus Christ.
Watching them box, it was like watching classic Nintendo Little Mac versus Mike Tyson. Like Archie's so tiny, and he's just like, and he actually fought. I think the fighting sequence in this episode was great, but Hiram is so fucking huge.
It was amazing too because Archie usually he's the jack guy on the show, right?
Yeah.
I almost feel like they weighted him down for the episode or something like that because he looked smaller, he looked less Abby than usual.
Abby?
Yeah, maybe it's just compared to Hiram Lodge, but that guy is just like he's thick. Archie decides he needs to leave. He can't go back to Riverdale because Hiram will kill him.
Now he's scared?
Well, what
now
do you,
he's scared?
What do you think about this?
It's a punk move. It's a goddamn punk move.
Wow.
You're leaving everybody you love to just fend for themselves. Yeah, there's a bad guy, but you're supposed to be there to help make this better, you fucking quitter, you bitch, you fucking nobody. You're going to just run away. You're going to put your tail between your legs and run away like a coward? Who are you, you shirtless nobody? Fuck you.
Shit. Wow.
So mad that he did that.
Just in case you
Veronica deserves better.
Just in case you think Pete is joking, I can tell on his face he is not joking right now.
So mad.
About the peak Riverdale. We talked when Rivervale was airing. We were like, this is fun. What if this was just the show? And then they did it. I think they did it. And maybe that was bad advice, but I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
But you're having a great time. You're not like, oh my God, this is way too much at once.
No, I'm eating it up like surf, turf, throw a bird in there. This is the perfect meal. Pour gravy on it. Yeah, the air. You got surf, turf, throw the flurf. Give me a bird.
Be a ghoulie and threw Molotov cocktails at Archie.
Yeah.
Like that episode worked for me. This episode works for me. And it works for me when it's like not trying to play it straight for Riverdale, but like when it goes entirely off the rails. That's what this episode did. And I love it.
Alex, you use the term off the rails. Where are the rails?
Yeah,
there
exactly.
are no rails.
You're
acting like the show is normally on rails. There's no rails. The train's gone.
No rail in Riverdale.
It's a ghost rails. It's a ghost train.
It's normally an upside down loop to loop where they have several jumps in the roller coaster, but this is like freeform roller coaster. This is like, what if we took a roller coaster and just let it run through the park? And that's what I like.
Shoni Chopaz breaks into Hiram's office, steals, I forget the name, but
it's a Glamourget egg.
Not a Fabergé egg.
It's a Glamourget egg from Spiffany's, which was brought up in season 2, I believe around the Christmas episode when Hermione was like, ooh, is that a Glamourget egg from Spiffany's? It's about the size of the box. So there you go. That's where that came from.
Nice. Look at that Easter egg.
Yeah.
Wow, very.
Who'd you kiss on New Year's?
That was great. You turned a shared moment into a disaster.
Be great. Guys, thank you so much.
Wait.
Oh, yes.
I just wanted to say,
Yes.
Alex, I love you.
All right, thanks. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. If you would like to support if you love us. Oh, yeah, I love you too. I love you too.
Pete, I know you. I know you love me, Alex. Pete.
Yeah. What's up, man?
What about
Are you gonna say it back to? Are you gonna say it back to Alex?
I said I love you guys.
Oh, no. Pete, he's wondering if you're going to say it to him.
Thank
You're going to
you.
say it to him?
Well, I do love Pip.
My dog.
Yep. And
That's a long way away from me.
And your brother.
Okay.
And both your kids.
Okay.
And also, all right, fine. Yes, Justin, I love you too.
I'm glad he was glad with that.
If you love us, you can support us. Patreon.com/Comic Book Club.
That's a good way. This is sort of like a reset episode where like, okay, let's pick up all the little pieces, put it all together, perhaps for the sort of finale rack of this season.
Yeah.
That they're building toward.
That's a technical term, right?
Finale rack? Yeah, I think it's a pool player's term.
Right.
Which is where I get it from. It's
Nice.
the last rack in the series.
You guys should probably know Justin plays pool professionally.
That's right. They call me Upstate New York Fats. Ironically, because I'm not fat.
Oh, weird.
It's debatable.
Okay.
Are from upstate New York, though.
Yes, that's true.
Debatable.
What? Wow. Okay. It's so weird how much the sort of foot is off the pedal when it comes to the Gargoyle King.
Yeah.
And we get sort of a reminder of the intensity of the believers of this. But Jughead is totally unfazed. He walks in this shack. There's like baby doll arms hanging everywhere. Skulls all over the place. He's like, cool. Where's this guy? I need to get a gang together of psychopaths. Yeah. Like it was like he's like fine. Like it was so odd.
Well, and then Kurtz is like doing his Apocalypse Now thing, and then Jughead immediately is back in the trailer like, well, that didn't work.
Dad or Gladys.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yes.
But this one, to sort of be with them when they're just like waking up, I was like, oh, this is weird. We haven't seen this before. And I thought it was different and weird.
I thought it was great. I love the pillow talk. They even comment on the pillow talk.
Do you ever think Archie is like looking on from next door? Just like.
Yeah, he's got a telescope.
And he's thinking like, I'll see you soon, Betty, when I'm dating you.
Oh, my God.
No.
That gets, I used to be on the same page as you. That gets farther and farther away every single episode.
Hell yeah, it does.
There are clues. There are cracks.
What clues?
None.
Jughead and Betty they're fine, but they're all business. They're like two trains.
You just talked about the nude scene.
Yes, no, they're nude, but we don't know if they've been having sex.
They're like nude friends.
They're great nude friends.
Right.
I lay with my friends nude.
Right. I mean, maybe when Jughead said this is great pillow talk, they were actually talking about buying new pillows.
Exactly. They're talking about upgrading. Shows up at football.
Wait. What did you think of all that jazz? How'd you feel about the dubbing?
I thought it was great. Yeah,
I mean,
the choreography was awesome.
The only thing that
good.
bothered me was the weird old-timey microphones in their press conference that made no sense.
Well, I like what
that's great. I love that.
Why?
Because that's very Riverdale. That they're like, we're going to dial on an old-timey phone. Hello, I got a press hat on and I got a little piece of paper in it.
Yeah, but
says
it
press.
doesn't. That's not how. Like
What on this show does work that way, Pete? Name one thing.
Wow, Pete's reality shattered by wrong microphone choice in insane teen show. Adult male shocked by microphone choice in teen show.
Rumordale.com/adult-male-shocked.
Adult Riverdale resident shocked by fucking everything in this town. That's what the headline of Riverdale.com is every day.
Here, so we'll get to those at the end. But for now, Let's jump into the episode. Let's talk about it. What is going on, Justin?
Archie is a crime fighter.
Hell yeah.
Legit crime fighter. He fights crime in Sketch Alley, a very on-the-nose named alley. He confronts a very old thief who hobbles away after he tries to steal a woman's purse. And Archie gets sprayed in the eyes.
Maced.
Yeah,
Nice.
I enjoyed this moment. I don't know how I feel about
Why?
What?
Why
I
did you
enjoyed
enjoy
watching Archie get maced.
Really?
I thought that was a fun beat at the end there, you know?
Yeah.
I just felt like, why would you mace the guy who helped you out?
He's wearing a mask.
He's sketchy, dude.
Yeah,
You're in
I don't
Sketch
care.
Alley.
It bothers me the same thing when, like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, the person who saved you, regardless of how they look or what they're doing or what they're wearing, why would you just assume that they're bad after they helped you?
If a giant turtle saves me from being robbed, I'm gonna be scared a little bit.
Yeah,
no, dude. You
'Cause
gotta
what
give
does a
them a
turtle
pound
want?
and keep it moving.
You give him a fist pound?
Yeah.
Wow, that's confident.
If a giant talking turtle walked up to you, Pete, you just give it a fist bump, no questions asked?
Yeah, I'd be like, my dude.
Wow. Even if he was like, Cowabunga, I'm from the 90s.
I'm eating pizza. I love pizza.
Put some pizza in the sewer and I'll eat it.
I'd be like, point me to the ooze, man. I want to join you in your mutant form.
Oh, okay. So your thing is you wouldn't just be fine with the turtle. You'd be like, make me into a turtle.
Hell yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Great. This is great. I'm glad we
Great
settled this.
sidebar into Pete's madness.
There you go. So thank you, Larry Tang, producer of Nancy Drew. Appreciate the feedback.
Hey,
Yeah, and I'd
Alex.
like to thank you as well for burning Alex so hard.
Yeah, suck it, Salvin.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Thanks, guys. Thanks
You
for having
burnt.
my back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No problem.
you'll always have a home here.
Along with F.P. Jones, who was not the sheriff at the point, now is the sheriff, they buried the body in the woods. So this is a secret they've all shared for a while. So that's what's going on there. Speaking of half siblings, Jughead has a half sibling as well, who is also Charles Smith.
Yes, the same person.
The same person.
He shares a half sibling with his girlfriend.
But I want to say that's not weird because they didn't know about it before.
That's exactly.
So just let it go.
It's like I have two cousins that got married, but they're separately cousins. One on my mom's side, one on my dad's side. There's nothing weird about that. And I was the best man at the wedding, and I brought that up, even though the bride said, "Please don't bring that up." And it's very funny.
Did that go over well or not well?
Well, when you have me as your best man, I'm gonna make a speech.
I don't know how I feel about this.
so Jughead, meanwhile,
Let me know when you want me to do the duties of being your best man, because I've got a pre-written speech that is gonna crush.
to each other would be over a little bit. All of the
You've drunk the jingle jangle, my friend. You're in too deep. I'm the Tony,
beautiful.
and you're Cheryl. You just got Cheryl.
Here's
and I'm Tony.
Me at the beginning. And then the Dickinson family shows up and they're like, "Oi, we're going to shut you down." She wakes up there. She locks her down there. We don't get to see it, but I assume a couple of kids who have signed up on the sign-up list are like, "Oh, is it not our turn right now to have sex in the sex bunker?" There's also a weird look.
Was that Marvin the Martian as a kid? Was that what that
I
accent
don't
was?
feel a need to clarify what is going on with my amazing impersonations, Pete. But maybe it was. A death ray, perhaps.
Oh, my God.
Of course. So that's what's going on with Jughead. A couple of other things I'm sure we'll touch on as we get through the episode itself. Now over to Betty. Betty ended up in a little bit of a sticky maple herself when she competed in a quiz show, and her mother, Alice Smith, who is trying to help her out now, just trying to be a helpful little mommy.
Little mommy.
Why would you say
That's
that?
right.
You made it.
She's a helpful.
So weird.
I honestly think she's
Crazy.
credited.
Why would you do that?
She's credited at the end of Riverdale as helpful little mommy.
That's awful.
Imagine a
the
mix.
fact that you just said that.
Helpful little mommy.
Stop saying.
We're all helpful little mommies and
Stop.
daddies.
Stop
You're a helpful
saying-
little daddy, and he's a helpful little mommy.
He can't. Alex can't get it together
Got
to
him.
talk.
Nope.
He got
This is
himself.
hilarious.
I'm out. That's it for me for the rest of the podcast.
All right,
That's
great.
fine. We could bear the standard here.
Yeah. So Alice
Yep.
gave her the answers to the quiz show.
Yeah.
See,
She's a
so
helpful little
Alice
mommy.
trying to help
gave Betty all the answers to the quiz show, which, as we know, is illegal to do.
But Betty didn't read them, and she tore them up, threw them away.
Right. So Betty did the right thing. I'm back now. I'm good. So Betty
You're
did the
back
right
to
thing.
being a helpful little.
Stop. He was back, and then you derailed him. You derailed him.
When I see a helpful little mommy, I call it a helpful little mommy.
Stop. Let him do his fucking job, man. Otherwise, we'll never get through this
so
fucking
hard
thing.
right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she gave her the answers. Betty ended up, as far as we knew,
They took that away from them.
Because of the information you can send down?
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
You can tweet.
They say that the pen is mightier than the sword.
Who says that?
I think, ask Jughead. He knows a lot of those
Was
quotes.
that Michael Caine in The Prestige?
Yeah. The pen is mightier than the sword. That's a flawless Michael Caine.
That's great. I thought
Michael
he was
Caine,
here for a
Michael
moment.
Caine, who is a listener, will definitely compliment us on that.
Yes, I'm taking a break from the latest Christopher Nolan movie that I'm working on.
Pretty good. So Jughead launches into the legacy.
I found you, Mr. Wayne.
So much emotion there.
Thank you. He's very sad in that scene.
Does Michael Caine play Mr. DuPont? Is that who it is?
Yeah, that's what it is. You get to see that, like, no, Forsyth isn't just a drug. He is part of this line of crime-solving men.
Yeah.
Great.
It was great. And everyone has a little part. FP's like sort of like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And Charles was like, I'm going to arrest you, and I will in a moment. Everyone has their own little superpower when it comes to the Jones men, and they got to use them. I mean, it is sort of a Justice League thing, like, or Avengers, if you want to go that way. Like, Jughead is like the Batman. He's the detective above all of them. Charles is, I'm going to try to do this. Charles is the Superman.
Okay. Sure.
FP is sort of another Batman.
And Forsyth is like a third older Batman.
I think I nailed that exactly correctly.
That's good. That's my ideal Justice League lineup.
Wonder Woman.
I want to see that.
So we get a news story, RIVW News, where Alice ends the deeply disturbing story about murder, corruption, and all that with "It's good to be back, Riverdale." I was like, what?
I could not believe that. And then the whole family is watching it, and they're all like, yay!
They're hooray, and they're like, it's time for cake, murder cake. We solved all these murders. I made a cake.
Oh my God, I love this scene so much. That's such classic Alice to be like, goodbye.
Yeah, I know. It was
goodbye from the scene of this suicide that happened. And then FP and Alice kiss in front of everybody, very sweet, and everybody's like, oh, gross, Mom and Dad, we're all related.
Yeah. Yeah. I know no one gets grossed out when the rest of them kiss.
So I very quickly looked for covers of the Mighty Crusaders, found one that was all white. It was all new Mighty Crusaders, number 12 from 1983. And then both you and I found interior pages and were like, yep, that's the issue. Figured the whole thing out in under 10 minutes. So,
Pete, are you impressed? I dropped
Pete,
everything.
do you feel like
doing.
me and Justin are the new Bughead?
Wow.
Whomst was the MVP in this episode, Pete? Who was the MVP here? He's just going to be fine.
As a promise, he's like, I'm going to clock this thing down, have Betty clock it down so its max speed is 25. And I was like,
that's
is that
not
how fast
even...
cars? Is that how fast cars went back then?
Yeah,
I got to check actual
50s?
history.
Was that how the fastest, even on, was there expressways? Like, I don't know.
They were going like 26. Imagine getting pulled over and they're like, so I got you at 18 miles an hour. What are you, a psychopath? Slow down. James Dean died in a car accident on the other side of the country. Watch out.
So they're worried about that, but as it turns out, Veronica has been exiled from Hollywood by her parents, Hermione and Hiram, who are the biggest sitcom stars in the world. They star on a sitcom called Mejia. Wait, I got that wrong.
No, yep, it's not me hee haw. Is that what you're trying to say? It's
all right. I'm going to stop saying words on this audio podcast. It's like he's always the person in the background. He's the narrator. He's the person who's listening in on everybody all the time. But pushing into a level where it's like, no, we're heading to this Crisis on Infinite Riverdales type thing is so far beyond that I could get into.
Exactly. It's like if you ordered a coffee, you were like, I'll just have a little sugar in there. And instead the barista jammed an adrenaline shot in your heart. That's what this show is right now. And can they keep
Pulp
this
Fiction
up?
you right in the middle of the coffee shop.
Exactly.
Like Pete's got a little theory over there.
Yeah, no. That's all part of Nana Rose's, a.k.a. Abigail, wants you to believe that's in the doll.
Pete
but it's
coming
Nana,
strong. Pete coming
Nana's
strong.
like, oh, I felt the doll move. That's what she wants you. Don't fall for Nana. You got an evil old lady in the corner and you're going to take her word for shit all of a sudden? You know she's been doing hidden fucking things underneath her breath the whole time. Why you believe in Nana like she's being straight with you? Nana cut you while you sleep. Don't even fuck with Nana. Like, it's unbelievable. You think, oh, Nana's telling the truth. Yeah, it's stuck in the doll. Everybody just be cool now. Everything's fine. Everything's right where it needs to be.
Archie's given the opportunity to give his I'm the spirit of Riverdale speech, he will. Like at the inevitable Cheryl and Tony wedding. He's like, anybody have anything they want to say? Archie's going to stand up
I'm going
and
to
be
throw
like,
something out there. This is just a theory. I'm just developing this right now. But Archie has that like very shocking red hair, right? Like what is also usually very red in specific places? A parrot. Do you think that Archie is secretly a large human parrot and only knows
I'm so glad you said parrot.
I'm the spirit of Riverdale.
Interesting. So
What are we
in
doing here?
In a show where you're like,
Polly want a cracker. Polly want a Tostito.
Archie want a Dorito.
Cool Ranch,
Archie
baby.
want to open a boxing gym.
It's just a theory. It's just something I'm throwing out there.
Okay, anybody weigh in on Twitter for Archie is a parrot as Alex's hot new theory.
Okay, Mr. Cat Briefcase.
More believable and established. More believable. Established history.
I'll throw this out there. Archie's weakness right now is palladium. Palladium is stones. What are parrots' weaknesses? They also die if they get hit with stones.
Okay. Where did you hear that?
The parrot encyclopedia.